是的，准备。
Just arrived in Helensburgh. Lovely. Supposed to be doing the Three Lochs Way, but the route from Balloch is goosed. So I'm going to get a pint, enjoy the pint, and then go find somewhere to sleep tonight. So I can do the main part of the route tomorrow. Oh my god, you actually got it. Right, thanks all right. Oh guys, talk about learning curves. About had a vestibule fire. Went to boil my water for breakfast, and you know what happened, it tipped over. Flames. Luckily didn't catch any of the tent, thrown it out, and had to run out to make sure I didn't start a fire on the moor. And my good socks, so they're now hanging from my backpack, and I hope to God not to lose them. I need them to dry. Oh, talk about learning curves. I mean, at the end of the day, this for me is about getting yourself into a wee bit of trouble anyway. I just wish it wasn't so self-inflicted. Stupid. Anyway, this is where I camped. You can see how it's a sort of, there's a drain here and a drain here, and it's kind of embankment, and it's to stop all the water coming down on the hill from flooding the moor there. So because this is a high bit, there's not really as much groundwater, so it was tight. I mean, the track's there, I'm going to keep heading down. I'm going to go find some water, fill up, and then once I'm warm again and there's less wind, look at all that, look at that. That's Loch Lomond there. So there's Loch Lomond there. It's the Clyde there. Honestly, you couldn't write it, but self-inflicted. Not going to moan about it. Yeah. Onwards and upwards, or downwards in this instance, because we're heading into a glen, but I'm sure we'll be heading up again. Oh man. Bring on summer. Yeah? Let's bring on summer. God, hands are freezing, man. I'm just annoyed at myself. But you know, learning curves. I got complacent. It's not that, like, it's not the best thing to do. You know, cooking up in your vestibule in the tent, but everyone does it, let's be honest. I just got complacent because I'd boiled up so many times in the night. Oh well, you know, oh well. You couldn't write it, folks. You couldn't bloody write it. Okay. Oh. In my hurry this morning, I've clearly put the top on wrong. Oh my lord. I'll get what I can, and then I'll get some for after. There's a river just there, so. Still half a litre in there, so I must have about half a litre of water over me. Oh well. It's quite warm now that we're out of the wind, so I reckon I'll probably dry off. These dry really quick, that's kind of the beauty of the fowl ravens, so should be fine. It's enough for breakfast anyway. I'll have breakfast, then I'll get my drinking water, and then we'll get going. This is the part where I spill all my water. Again. No. Out of practice? Is it out of practice? Is it luck? I don't believe in luck. I think you make your own luck. So I would say I'm out of practice. Oh yeah. Let's go. I'm looking forward to this. I don't like really watery porridge, so I think I've struck the balance. I should have brought coffee. Whew. So back on the road again, finally. Brushed my teeth, had breakfast, not specifically in that order. Refilled my water. Took the jacket off, don't want to sweat too much again today, that's how you get cold. Yeah, people will be watching this and thinking, you know, what could go wrong next. I actually didn't mention, but I left my headphones on the train as well. I've had them for about 5 years. I mean, you can't control these things, you can only control how you react to them. Well, I could have controlled some of those things by being a bit more clever and careful. But that's why we're doing this, you know, so that when I do undertake some more arduous trips later on in the year, I'll go, I'll remember when you did that, and I'll maybe take a bit more care. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Aye. It's all good. All good in the hood. Look at this, sun. It's been a long winter. It's been a long evening. Well deserved bit of sun. Whew. You don't know what you're going to get in March in Scotland. I mean, it could snow next week, but I'm going to enjoy this for the moment. I've actually got the camera out just as photographic evidence that that thing is actually out. Sorry, we're in Glen Fruin now. That's the commemorative stone for the Battle of Glen Fruin, which was between what was it, the MacGregors and the Kilcones, something like that. It says like there. Hold on, MacGregors and Kilcones. So technically you start at Loch Lomond. I did see Loch Lomond this morning from where I camped. So Loch Lomond, we're going to pass over Argyll Loch, so that's your second loch, and then we'll finish around Arrochar, which is our third loch, Loch Long. You're supposed to keep going into Inverglass and stuff, but again, this is me just popping out for a day slash sort of evening yesterday, sneaking it in, and I can spend the rest of the time with the wife and the dog. To do the Inverglass section, you're walking about 2 hours towards Inverglass from Tarbert and then back again, whereas I could just get the train home from Tarbert, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll get the train from Tarbert to Glasgow, then Glasgow back to Alloa. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. The best is yet to come apparently as well, so really good. Met a good bunch of folk on the way too. Everyone's really nice here. A lot of estate workers, There's also a training facility down here. I think you saw some B-roll that hints at that, where they train soldiers for, well, war, I assume. So it's a no drone zone, not that I've got one, or you know, but you can see all sorts up here apparently. But yeah, it's a lovely wee part of the world. Looking forward to the next bit.
Makes a change.
Aye, I know. I was just thinking that. Little information bit here that's a bit faded. From what I can see, it seems to mention that the track going onward, parts of it were part of a drove road. A drove road was for cattle drovers, where they would take cows from the hills all over the Highlands of Scotland and drive them down to the central belt to sell them. A lot of the roads that we now walk on in Scotland are just upgraded drove roads, routes that have existed for hundreds of years. Either that or military roads, roads built to get military forces, English military forces from A to B fast enough to squash the Highlanders from rising up and fighting for their right to be Highlanders, really. But that's part of the reason why I love doing these. I love the history behind it all. It's fantastic. A lot of cultural history hidden in what is slowly being industrialised and kind of losing its character a wee bit. So I think it's important that, you know, we have things like that. I just wish that that one was a little bit better maintained. So down there is Loch. So we're just passing Loch. So we saw Loch Lomond today. There's Loch, and as we go over Arrochar, I'll be Loch Long, Three Lochs. Not even doing the whole thing, but I get, you know, get to tick every box. Cheating, it's cheating. I'll be back, I promise. I'll be back. It's worth it for this view.
On the Shackleton expedition, he had been in charge of the base camp and had not endured the most brutal conditions. Moreover, the qualifications for a great polar explorer and for an Amazon.
A lot of the track goes kind of down and then up again at this point, and it's a lot of FLS. FLS is Scotland's Forestry Land Service. It's not like American Forestry Service where you get this, I mean obviously I imagine they have some sort of version of this too, but you know, there's only so much of it where they're maintaining wild land. Scotland hasn't got a lot of wild land left, so a lot of the time they're just growing timber for exploiting in construction within the country or exporting. It's a money thing. And they kind of grow this monoculture of Sitka spruce. You can see we've got birch there, a lot of rhododendron. The rhododendron's kind of a 19th century Victorian fumble of the ball a little bit. We imported this flower and now it grows like a weed, nothing else can grow around it. In the summer it blooms into this, spring and summer it blooms into this beautiful pink flower and stuff, but it's not good. They're actually the government have vowed to try and get rid of it all, but look at it all. And then you've got some birch in the middle of that. Birch will just grow anywhere really well. And then behind that you've got Sitka spruce, which will be planted. And yeah, it's a monoculture, it's boring to look at. They do a hell of a job with their infrastructure too. These tracks are horrible to walk on and usually not very well maintained. And you've got a lot of vans ripping back and forward from the MOD as well, so this takes a bit of a kicking, and I would also say watch for your water sources here, because it's all FLS ground, and what's coming out of there is mostly just drainage. You need to remember it's not great, but I have found one spring that's draining pretty well under this culvert here, so I'm going to climb down into there and get some more water before moving on. I promise I'll stop moaning once we get out of this part. Apparently the next bit's really, really nice once you start seeing the mountains again and stuff. I'm just not a fan of FLS and the way they maintain things, or, well, maintains maybe not the right word. Remembered I've got some bachelors in my bag. They're in no way a substitute for backpacking meals because there's not enough calories or protein in them for recovery, but from what I'm needing here, we're on the last push, it's just a little pick-me-up. Definitely should have brought coffee, that would have sufficed, but you know, this is why we're doing this, to remember what we're needing. Yep. Not fantastic. Just came off the track a wee bit because there's foundations of a building. OS Maps doesn't reference anything. Typically it does if there's a settlement. It only looks like kind of one building. It's a bit big to be a shieling. A shieling would be a really basic shelter that would be used on drovers roads or even up in plains where they'll settle cattle. Easy for me to say. And it'll be where young boys, men would have spent their summers putting cows out to pasture. Really basic, really small. That looks significantly bigger than a shieling. Not a shieling, not a settlement, but a dwelling of some sort. So who knows how old that is, really. So we're on the high road towards Arrochar now. Beautiful, beautiful surroundings. Interestingly enough, I done a little film when I went mackerel fishing last year, and the rail track is below us, and I would sit in my hammock or fishing for mackerel off a big stone, which I can only imagine, because that hotel's there, the two houses is somewhere down there. I'll put the footage over this now. Spent a day in and around Arrochar fishing for mackerel. Fantastic camp spot. But it was as I was in that hammock looking out at that vista that made me want to do this, because it was just one hell of a view and I just wanted to be a part of it. It's like something off of a shortbread tin or something, you know. It's the type of things that I've read about, and always a little further by Alistair Borthwick and Tom Weir books. Yeah, glad I've done this. Really glad I've done this. This is exactly what I've went all this way for. Is that this stretch of the walk? Now I think I've got maybe just over 4 kilometers now, so, and plenty of time. So I'm just gonna take my time about it and take it all in. So there it is, Arrochar, and I am gasping for a pint. Big juicy burger and a pint. This has been my favourite bit, but I tell you what, it's hard in the lungs. See the cobbler up there? It is beautiful. You can see why such a fuss has been made about it over the years. I'll see you at the pub. Really difficult decision. I'm hungry, tired, thirsty. The inn's just down there, but I don't think I'll get served, eat, drink, and then get up the road quick enough to catch the next train. And then if I don't catch that train, I'm not going to get home till about 20 to 11 tonight. I don't know what to do.